Hey there, Riverman fans. Welcome to another edition of Trudel's Take, presented by Health Alliance. Welcome back to this week's episode of Trudel's Take. Jason Ruff joined once again, and as always, by Riverman head coach Jean-Guy Trudel. Guy, I'm loving the glasses this week, my friend.
Yeah, serious look.
Seriously.
We're not happy with the way we're playing. We're going serious this week.
Well, speaking on that, the Rivermen split their weekend series against Evansville, won in Bloomington, lost in Evansville. What do you want to see this team improve on? Obviously, it's always good when you can get a win against Evansville, but what did you want to see your team improve on from last weekend going into this coming weekend?
A little bit of consistency. I think playing the same way on the road that we do at home, playing hard, doing our details. I think, like I said, 2 weeks without practices is pretty tough, and a lot of teams in our league go through it, but for us, it was a new thing. It was rough, and we can see we're missing a lot of details right now. So get back to it, play Riverman way. We understand what that is, and I think we have a lot of guys in the locker room that knows what we're supposed to do in every situation. Is just a matter of getting back to it and really digging in. We have 11 games left. It's important that we get the right reps in those 11 games.
And this is where you are really fortunate to have the leadership core and the veteran leaders that you do. They know how to play the Riverman way. It's all about getting that consistency, like you mentioned.
Absolutely. They know it. They buy in, most times. And, I think John Cooper's in trouble right now for saying that those veteran guys buy in 99.9% of the time. But it's a little bit the same for us. It's just about, sometimes you got to get back to basic and understand what you are, who we are as a group, and what we do well. And the last 2 days, I can't say enough about the players, though. We put in the effort in the last two practices, and we know it's a big weekend, 3-3 against our rivals. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We have a lot of respect for Quad City. They came back in a lot of games lately. So for us, it's about being ready for a team that's hungry and that's fighting for a playoff spot.
Well, this Riverman team certainly looked ready last Saturday in Bloomington, a 3-0 victory. Just describe for us what it was like playing in that atmosphere in Bloomington, near capacity crowd, in a somewhat of a road environment, at least in terms of the travel is concerned. How did you think your group handled it?
When it comes, if I'm honest with you, when it comes to the game, I thought it was a really average SPHL game. When it comes to the atmosphere, it was absolutely phenomenal. For us, having close to 5,000 people in the 6,000 arena, it makes. I remember I thought the game was kind of slow and bouncy and not connected, and the crowd was still in it, and it was phenomenal from every shot on net to every penalty. There was, It was loud. The first goal of the game was just phenomenal atmosphere when they all came up. So it was a great atmosphere. Unfortunately, the game was subpar, I think, for different reasons, but it wasn't like our best performance. I don't think it was Evansville's best performance, but the good thing I took out of that game is we did two things that we bought him extremely well. I thought our wingers in the defensive zone didn't allow their D to get any shots, and we completely took away the house. And then after that, I thought in the neutral zone, we bought into what we do neutral zone forecheck wise, and it was beautiful to see. I don't think they got the same amount of rush that they usually do against us.
No, they certainly didn't. It seemed like, at least on that Saturday game, the Rivermen just completely, like you said, bottled them up and didn't allow them anything. And that has benefits of being put on film so guys can see, especially against a team like Evansville, who you will see this weekend and potentially, who knows, in the playoffs. This is how you have to beat that team.
Exactly. And I think it's a lot of teams. So, hockey gets better every single year. And now it's a skating game, and a lot of teams like to skate that neutral zone. If you find a way to clog them up and do the right structure and the right routes, it's very hard for different teams to have that success. And everything's about the neutral zone right now, and I thought we did a phenomenal job on Saturday. I think Sunday, back to a little bit of cheating here and there, but I think Saturday we really bought into making those two areas very hard for them to come to. And then every shot from the outside, I think we only gave 8 scoring chances that Saturday game, and most chances were shots from the outside. And I always say we're lucky to have the goalies we have, and if most shots with no traffic from the outside, they're going to stop it.
Absolutely. Now, very briefly touching on Sunday's game, were there any positives that you can take from that Sunday game and say, this is something we can build on, or is that one of those flush the tape games?
No, it was actually with the puck, I think we were fine again. I think through the neutral zone, we I always say every game has its own story, and the pre-scout determines it. And we actually followed the plan offensively. We skated the puck. We had puck possession in neutral zone. We wanted to expose a few things, which we did. We had our chances, and don't get me wrong, I came to becoming a fan of that Gorsuch guy, the goalie there in Evansville. I think he's what I've seen this year, I think he's the best goalie in the league. So for us, we got our opportunities. We scored 3 goals finally against him. So there was a lot of positive that way. a lot of mental mistakes, and I thought a few guys, we had a few passengers that didn't buy into what's needed, and you eliminate one or two of those goals, and all of a sudden it's a tie game, and we have a chance to win a game. So it's just little things in hockey, and we're getting to that point where we just got to tighten up. We got to make sure that everybody's on the same page, and that's why I'm really excited about this week. Tons of practice time. Next week, our mini training camp. So I can't wait. I love getting on the ice. Practice is, I always say, it's a coach's time.
Yep.
In a game, it's up to them to do. You're only going to do a few adjustments, but practice time, it's a coach's time. It's a lot of fun to be on the ice finally with the boys this week.
That mini training camp that you mentioned, walk us through it for those of us who are uninitiated to it. What goes on in that mini training camp during the course of the regular season?
Well, we don't have it often, but right now we're lucky. Our schedule permitted us. We have a weekend off. So, you get to a point after Christmas that your practice can't be that long or you lose your players.
Yeah.
But right now, with having no games on the weekend, we can get a 2-hour practice every single day for 4 straight days. And with all the new faces, new players that we have here right now, plus we're going to bring in some college guys. With all these new faces, we got to get on the right connected in every single area. And I always say, from you get a penalty call against you, we should be absolutely excited to get on the ice and understand exactly what our plan is against every single team, knowing, and that's what we're not right now. And there's a lot of factors to it. We played a lot of games in the last 2 months. We don't really have a lot of practice time. When you come back from a trip 15 hours away, you take the next day off because you're exhausted, and then that cuts it to 2 practices a week, and 2 practices a week at the pro level doesn't give you a lot of chance with new players to really put everybody on the same page, and that's what it's going to permit us to do. And plus, we have a few things we want to do as a team building because a lot of new faces, but we have a special group. It's just about I think just tighten everything up, making sure that we're refocused and re-energized on what we had to do. And I always say we can take these 2 weeks without practice in different ways. I'm going to find a positive to it. We had time to rest our bodies. We had time to rest our brains. So right now it's just getting back to work and making sure we're organized.
The story of the farmer, correct?
Absolutely. The old farmer, my friend.
But you did mention that this is the time of year when you are going to be bringing in college guys. It's also the trade deadline is coming past. There's a lot of movement, a lot of hecticness going on in front offices all across this league. Explain to us how, I don't want to say chaotic, but how intriguing and how much preparation and how much work goes into behind the scenes at this point of the year, because there's a lot of moving parts going on.
Yeah, and it's the lucky part is at the pro level, it's more done with phone calls, video. You can recruit, you can see shifts from everybody around the globe. So it's a lot of fun doing it that way, but it's hectic. It's just time consuming, and then with the trade deadline, as a coach, and you understand what you need, what you're trying to get, and unfortunately at this level. We struggle as coaches at making hockey trades. They always want your best player for a fourth liner, so it's tough to make a trade at this level with other coaches. But it is what it is, and for us, we feel like we have a really good team. I still feel like we're 1 or 2 pieces away, and that's why me and Blake Orman, our assistant coach, we're trying to find that right piece of the puzzle like we did last year with LA. We really needed a big defenseman to play 22 minutes of really hard hockey, and we were lucky enough to get LA. And I said it last week, I think without LA, we're not winning a championship. So for us as coaches, it's about recruiting, finding the right piece that we need, bringing a few different guys, and a lot of times that's the way you find a diamond in the rough and a guy that's really going to help you in your playoff run.
Absolutely so. Speaking of tough hockey, a lot of tough hockey coming up this weekend here at Carver Arena. 2 games, Friday and Saturday night, against the Quad City Storm, followed up by a third on Sunday against the Evansville Thunderbolts. The 2 rivalry series could be decided here this weekend. Friday night, of course, it's the Riverman rebrand night. Peoria is going to turn into the Illinois Flying Carp. Those jerseys will be auctioned off at the conclusion of the game. Again, those jerseys presented by McLean County Sportsman Association. And then on Saturday, more Riverman great specialty jerseys celebrating St. Patrick's Day. In addition, the first 1,000 fans through the doors will receive a free Riverman replica ring presented by our friends at Home Field Energy. And, of course, on Sunday, it's Sunday Family Fun Day. Guy, I don't know if it's obvious or not, But I'm really excited for Friday night, Riverman Rebrand Night. The Flying Cart, man. Let's go.
Trust me, I've seen it all week, buddy. I know you're excited. The whole world know you're excited, buddy. No, it's going to be a fun night. I think it's a great idea that they started with. I love it. I love the idea, and especially here in Peoria on the river, we see those flying carps all over the place.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
I think it's going to be, it's going to be great for the fans, just for one night to kind of change the colors a little bit, change different things. I think it's exciting, and you can see right now how well it's working across, the United States. Every team is doing it right now, so it's a lot of fun.
And of course, big games against Quad City. You can potentially close out the season series against Quad City this weekend, and of course, Evansville on Sunday. Last game between you two, and that rivalry series comes down to that game.
Yeah, it's. It's for us. It's 3 games, man.
Yeah.
We're playing 3 games, and we got to get better. And if it's Quad City, Pensacola, Evansville, we really don't care. We're just trying to get better every single day to get ready for the playoffs. So it is what it is. It's just about playing the right way here, playing the Riverman way.
Well, we look forward to seeing the Rivermen back in action, playing the Riverman way here on home ice. Keith, thank you so much for your time. We'll talk to you again here later this weekend.
Thanks a lot, Ruff. Appreciate it, buddy.
This has been Jason Ruff with Riverman head coach Jean-Guy Trudel for this, your weekly edition of Trudel's Take, presented by Help Alliance. We'll talk to you next time, Riverman fans.